Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dreamhack 2011 Winter Tournament. It's brought to you by SteelSeries, Sapphire, AMD, and AZO. And we live just about to, and your microphone
headset is oh, there it is.
Magical.
There it is. I don't have any audio though, so it looks like I'm unplugged.
This seems to happen every time. I have to wonder if the little gremlins running behind here every night and unplugging
Which one is
everything.
it in?
Okay, I will try to fix
Live fixing again.
Yes, I'll see what I can do, and you can tell us about the wonderful players we're about to cast.
Yes, okay, do you want to take this then? So, let's have a look at the bracket first. Well, actually, no, let's not look at the bracket. Our games we're casting today are amazing. We've got 3 fantastic best-of-3 series in the morning. Nightend versus SaSe is going to be the first game of today. Then, in 1 hour's time, oh, there we go, I'm connected. We're going to have Puma versus Genius. And then the third game at lunchtime today, Chef versus Puma.
Chef versus Hero, in fact.
That's right.
Indeed.
I'm tired, sorry.
It's okay.
I'm alive, Chef versus Hero. I don't know why I've got Puma written down twice, but Chef versus Hero.
You just want to see Puma play all the time. That's Puma versus Puma.
As you can see, guys, in the crowd, there is the bracket for today. White Raw versus Nama, Nightend versus SaSe, Dongrei Gu versus Naniwa. Wow, wow, wow. Puma versus Genius. Cyplo versus Huck. Chef Hero, Nurchio Mana, Polish team kill.
There's so many kills going on in this round of 16.
I know,
We've got a Korean kill.
Yep.
Team Liquid, a Korean kill, a Polish kill. Very scary.
Yeah, it's good. And it looks like these players are here. Apparently Nightend's just gone to the toilet really fast, so we will be going into that very, very briefly. But let's go into this Nightend versus SaSe game now. They have played before. Home Story Cup was the most recent one, where we saw SaSe go 2-1 against Nightend. If you look at their overall results against Protoss, Nightend is 50-50, doesn't win that many series, and it's kind of difficult to put him on the same level as SaSe. SaSe has fantastic control and decision making. His percentage overall in the matchup is like 65%, which is a very high amount.
Especially for PvP, yeah. People do call it a coin flippy, which I don't agree with, but yeah, a 65% win ratio on that is pretty good. That said, do bear in mind that Nightend did beat Mana, who is also extremely good at PvP. He did that yesterday in a fairly convincing series. Mana making some errors, but really, when I watched the engagement, I was actually casting with TLO, and when we started the engagement, myself and TLO both agreed that Mana had the upper hand in that engagement, but he made a crucial error. He blinked his Stalkers forward in an attempt to kill a Colossus. Nightend instantly responds by backing the Colossus off, keeps it alive, and the Stalkers are then destroyed at the front, meaning that Nightend actually got the advantage in that series, and he eventually went through and took it. So, honestly, got to be very, very careful against Nightend. He is no slouch in PvP, and if we can look at recent results for SaSe, we both cast that match, in fact, a rematch with Tails. That's Complexity MVP Tails, who went on to take 2nd place in the IPL 4 UK qualifier, actually gaining him a spot for IPL 4 because Stefano had already gotten his, so that handed on to him. And while he beat him the first time, Tails convincingly took him down in the 2nd series in the losers bracket. So SaSe's got to be a little bit careful here. PvP is very volatile, and this is now, after the double group stage, a single elimination best-of-3. So this is a very tough format for everybody. Yeah, and it's rough as well because it's a long way to the prize money here. So it is volatile. And the thing is, SaSe hasn't got the best results versus Koreans in general. I mean, he lost his Code A match versus a Korean Smart also, and like you said, against Tails too. Nightend, though, the thing is, in StarCraft 2, a lot of it comes down to the day. You know, are you playing good on the day? Are you feeling good on the day? Because if you didn't get enough sleep and you're not concentrating hard enough, then it can easily go down. Because you know, a small minor mistake at this high level of play can definitely cost you the game. Yes, there's no real doubt about that, and this match will be starting fairly shortly. We're just waiting for those guys to set up. There are a couple of things we can remind you of while we go through, however. One thing being that the semi-finals and finals will be in the massive ice hockey arena right next to this. Yes. And we'll get 4,000 capacity for that. Everyone will be casting in that. We will be casting one of the semi-finals in that arena. And Day9 and Mr. Bitter will as well, and Tasteosis are scheduled to cast the final, assuming they are still alive. We saw them this morning, they were looking perky. Tasteless looks like he's getting over his eye. My eye is actually itchy a little bit, so I'm a little bit scared that Tasteless is like poke me with his eye. Possibly, yeah. While you weren't looking, he just started rubbing his eye up against yours. It's like, what are you doing, Tasteless? It's a sign of affection in my country. Tasteless is like that. He'd sit in the corner of the bedroom and just smoke a little cigarette in the corner and then come and do that. So, my door wasn't locked. Yeah, he could have. He could have snuck in during the night. Well, hopefully that is not the case. And I think every caster has been pretty battered.
I know. I actually, every caster is like dying, but it's like the last 2 men standing is like you and Day Night. Like almost every time. Like yesterday and the day before.
I don't know. I mean, even after that Happy Todd match, I don't know if even Day 9 will survive. I know my voice is taking a pounding. I'm still alive, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm looking forward to casting that arena, and hopefully I can recover in time for that. There is a Facebook contest currently going on by one of the sponsors of this tournament, Sapphire. They're giving away some really kick-ass graphics hardware. You can head over to facebook.com/Sapphire Technology. If you take a picture of yourself watching this tournament, whether or not it be at Dreamhack or watching the live stream with your friends, post it on facebook.com/Sapphire Technology. You win with a chance to win a 6970, which is a beastly card, a 6870 as well as a 6670. So some good equipment there. And also a reminder that there are signing sessions for all the casters going on throughout the day. Ours is scheduled to happen at 2 p.m. local time. So I know we've been doing a lot of signing at this booth, but anyone that's missed out, that's where we're going to do it from here on in. And I believe Tastosis is signing directly after us as well. So just keep an eye on that one. That's going to be in the Twitch Lounge, which is in Hall C, next to the players area, which we have not actually had a chance to go to yet. So I'm looking forward to checking that out.
No, I was there and for a little bit just to get some water on the first day, but it looks really nice.
Cool.
Managed by Harding, Mr. Harding.
Mr. Too Good Harding, yes, he always takes care of his people.
Yeah, indeed. And just looking at these results between these two players that I've got written down, and neither of them's had a huge win.
No, they have not.
SaSe did win the Road to Korea trip over Naniwa that actually sent him to Korea in the first place.
That was a while ago, though.
But, you know, he's second in CPL, which is the Chinese tournament where he lost versus Marine King Prime. He did win the Grubby Starcraft Series #1. Third place MLG European Invite, which again lost to Naniwa, and third in IPL 4. So, you know, he's got a lot of seconds and third places, but he hasn't really got a huge win. And likewise, on the other hand, you know, Nightend neither has that. He qualified for TSL 3, which is great, where he narrowly lost versus Boxer in a close 2-1 series. He did win the Dreamhack Balkanland, though, which actually got him here in the first place. So, I mean, that's a pretty decent achievement to qualify for such a prestigious event. These two players are looking for big wins, and actually looking at the bracket, whoever wins this will be going on to actually face White Raw or Nama.
That could be scary. I mean,
there's a lot of Protoss left in this tournament, by the way.
There's going to be a lot of Protoss kills going on. White Raw's really looking for form. Yesterday, he smashed his group. He actually, I think, just gave away the last match because he didn't care. It was him versus Show. Show had already was already out. White Raw was already through with a perfect score. He didn't give a damn. He still took a game off for Show, even though he wasn't obviously paying attention. But yeah, White Raw's really scary, and his PvP is terrifying as well. So he's looking a favourite to take Nama out in that series if his form continues, but I wouldn't underestimate Nama, considering that he has also been powering through this, and he's obviously prepared a lot for this tournament. But yeah, that's another PvP, and that's dangerous stuff. And speaking of PvP, Saplo's been getting the PvP end of things, and is now going to face Huck. Yeah,
and we've seen Huck in PvPs before, when he actually lost versus Elfie in the Assembly Invitational only a couple of weeks back, so PvP can really go any way, and that's what we have to keep in consideration for this Nightend versus SaSe game. It really could go either way. One mistake, one build order beats another build order. So, you know, if somebody opens DTs and the other opens up fast robotics facility, it's almost an automatic loss. So, you know, it can really go either way, and it looks like finally we're getting the invites to the game, and it is going to be on Antigua Shipyard is the first map, and apparently SaSe was telling me that at this stage of the single limb brackets, it's actually vetoes, so vetoes are actually coming into play here.
All right. Well, we'll see how that one goes. And I've been invited to a party.
I know, it's like we play 2v2 in the stream instead.
We've done that before. We actually did win, if I recall correctly.
We did, man. You're the best.
Yeah, I actually played a 2v2 with A-Spec, who is a commentator a lot for FPS. He was actually the host of IPL 4. And that was quite fun. In fact, I actually upset Little Susie quite a lot in that one. You want to know why? Well, Little Susie's a big fan of Brood War, not so much at StarCraft 2 yet. I built 98 Marines. A moved across the map, then left the stage and won the game. So she's like, this game is stupid. You shouldn't be able to do that. I was like, but we were so far ahead.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, I pressed it. The button has been pressed. The game, the bomb is ticking.
Yes.
SaSe versus Nightend about to start. Antigua Shipyard, the first map between these guys. Best of 3 single elimination. A grueling single elim bracket.
nasty stuff, isn't it? There's a lot of money on the line, though, so
yeah,
that's worthwhile, and we are, ladies and gentlemen, into this game. And as a result, it is my pleasure to bring you Quantic Gaming SaSe. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Protoss to the west of this particular map, which is, of course, the Antigua Shipyard, versus his opponent, Nightend. He is in the teal trunks, and he is playing Protoss to the east.
And don't remember, this is Sweden versus Romania right now as well. And god damn it, Sweden has some fantastic StarCraft 2 players. They really do. And SaSe, one of their finest, for sure.
Yeah, he's been in Korea for quite some time now, and we saw his form in IPL, only really falling down, as I say, to Tails then. Ended up also having problems against Stefano, if I recall correctly, and then again, who doesn't have problems against Stefano?
Yeah, definitely.
He had some issues this tournament. Maybe Stefano's just been traveling too much, but he did not look on form this time around, I'd say that for a fact. But whatever the case, it's just how StarCraft goes, yeah.
Well, you know, talking about Stefano real briefly, is, you know, he didn't even look that solid last weekend at IPL 4. Even though he won it, there was like so many big mistakes he kept on making, but he still won. So, you know, maybe his time on top has expired, we don't know. And it looks like we are seeing a 12 gateway going down for Nightend, 13 for SaSe here, so already a little bit of deviation. 13 gateway is obviously going to delay the warp gate a little bit. You can still 4-gate from here, but obviously it's not going to be as powerful because it's a little bit later hit. And weirdly enough, Nightend is actually scouting up the top left, which is a little bit silly because this is the GSL version. It's only cross position. Yeah,
perhaps he forgets that. It's very easy to forget considering the number of versions that are on there. And we'd always recommend to players that they confirm with the casters before starting. We'll be able to give them those information. Either that, or you get Morrow on speed dial, and he will give you like the history of the map. He'll give you all the little things about it, and he'll tell you that you're probably using the wrong version. Morrow knows everything about maps.
Oh, he does. And looking at this now, the Chrono Boost is exactly the same. So 2 Chrono Boost each on the Nexus so far, but that 12 gateway compared to the 13. And so far this probe is going to go in. I'm interested to see, are we going to see a second gas go down? And he actually does throw a second gas down here, Nightend. And meanwhile, SaSe has not. The second gas doesn't mean that much yet because it still could have been not mined from, and equally SaSe does here. But, you know, 4-gate is still very strong, as we saw Elfie has proved that point over and over and over. But these two players are actually very good at defending it, so we'll see.
SaSe doing the... I don't know what it is about Protoss to go to Korea. Every time they go to Korea for a few months, they always do this. They go for the little interruption trick with the probe on the mineral line, just to try and delay mining somewhat. And it's nice. It does just slow your opponent down just a little bit, but just take a little bit of micromanagement. Alright, so SaSe has chrono boosted out his warp gate, and he's also chrono boosting out the Stalker. He does still have some chrono boost left. Stalker being chrono boosted out by Nightend as well. That'll actually take Nightend to 2, whereas also, in fact, SaSe is going to 2 as well. He's a bit behind because, of course, his warp. His Cybernetic score was a bit late because of his gateway timing.
Well, it looks like both of these players are not going to really 4-gate. They're actually going to tech up, as both of them have thrown down their 3rd pylon now. Usually SaSe's preferred style is a very safe one. It's usually consistent around Blink and Observer, so I wouldn't be surprised if we actually did see the robotics facility come down very, very shortly here. But we are seeing a lot of chrono boost being spent into the gateway here by SaSe, and a second gateway goes down for SaSe in his main base. Meanwhile, we actually see the Robo going down for Nightend, so he's cutting a few corners here, trying to tech up just on 1 gateway, especially with he only has a couple of Stalkers here. And 2 Stalkers and a Zealot from SaSe will be able to beat these, but he needs to get his second Stalker in there.
Yeah, he needs to bring one in, and there it is. He's able to back off there without taking any actual armor damage, which is, of course, the most important thing. Now it's 3 Stalkers, which starts to get a bit messy for SaSe. He can't engage here and loses the Zealot in the process, so Nightend coming off the winner on that one without question. Twilight Council coming down for SaSe here as well, deciding not to go down the Robo-Tech path.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to go Blink now, but then we'll add the robotics facility after. And meanwhile, we actually see double gateway coming down for Nightend. So it looks like Nightend's going to be playing like an Immortal composition and then looking to expand surely. You know, this matchup's evolved around the point where you are actually expanding quite freely. And there is the robotics facility coming down for SaSe as well. So we do have a single observer for Nightend because he got the robotics facility first. He has the time to get it an observer out and then an Immortal. So we should see an Immortal come out next from him. And he should be looking to expand relatively soon. And meanwhile, with the Blink has started for SaSe, SaSe has to go Observer here. SaSe is the one going to be aggressive. and it's going to be down to Nightend on how well he can defend against Blink Stalkers. And with Immortals, if he gets a second Immortal out by the time SaSe's there, Nightend's going to be looking in decent position, to be honest.
Yeah, he will. There's no real doubt that Immortals versus Blink Stalkers, it can get really messy for the guy who's doing Blink Stalker. If you're good, and if you're in a good position, and if there's not too many Immortals, you can blink in and snipe them off. The problem is the amount of DPS required to do that is quite high, and it means that you're not shooting at the rest of the army.
Colossus Bay, or Robotics Bay has been thrown down by Nightend, so this is a little bit risky. Because obviously, I mean, Colossus is obviously great against Blink Stalkers as they get up there, but without Thermal Lance, if you only have one, and not enough Zealots to kind of be around the legs of the Colossus, all of a sudden, the Stalkers could actually blink on the Colossus, snipe it, and then what are you left with? So we actually are seeing an Immortal be made, but more importantly, it looks like we are having a bit of an Observer war down here, where SaSe is trying to get the Observer at Nightend, and it will eventually go down here.
He's going to poke at it, and it goes down. Nicely done there. Now, the question is, did he see the 4th gateway that SaSe put down there? He did, so he is aware of that. 4 gateway with Blink Stalker going in for a bit of extra aggression later on in the game, whereas Nightend has gone for the expansion here. Yeah,
I mean, I still think his second Immortal would be better than a Colossus here, and indeed he is, realizing that what he's going up against, a Colossus is not that good, to be honest.
No, it's not.
So a second Immortal is going to be more helpful here, but at the same time, he's wasted money on the Robotics Bay. Simply because he thought he could get up to Colossus, now realizing that he can't, and he has to be so careful right now because SaSe is on the prowl. He's moving around with a decent Blink Stalker army. Pylons are all over the map right now, and it's going to come down to, like we said earlier, can Nightend defend?
Yeah, and Nightend support back 2 Immortals. I think the store count's actually high enough to beat this, so I'm kind of worried here for Nightend, and also we can't reinforce behind there either. So Pylon picked up. SaSe knows that pouncing right now might be a bit risky, so we'll have to see what he decides to do here. Nightend's army is not that large.
No, and he doesn't have Blink of his own. He has 2 Immortals, which is going to be great, but I think that Nightend's looking in a decent position. As these 2 Pylons come up, he can warp in more units. He has another Immortal coming. Great harassment, though, from SaSe. As he blinks in with 4 Stalkers, going to be able to come around and get some probes and then even blink out.
And the Immortals are going over in that direction, and then you've got a full-on engagement here. SaSe actually doesn't engage all that well, and Nightend is able to do some damage here, but these Blink Stalkers have been smashing
like one-shot-in probes. He's losing so many probes here.
He's got to get out now, and he does. A very nice little bit of Blink maneuver, and now he's working on that. And that's a really nice concave there by SaSe. Absolutely fantastic. Nightend taking a huge amount of damage, and there's the quick blink out once again. What a great bit of harassment that was, and that is the damage done. 5 workers killed, and SaSe's force is still looking pretty good. SaSe's blink is incredible. He's blinking back 4 or 5 injured Stalkers at a time here.
He's not doing enough, though, because there's more. Well, actually, the probe count is in SaSe's favor, but still, the double Nexus is going to make it so easy for Nightend just to climb forward. Another Immortal is out, and when that 4th one, comes out, SaSe's army is not going to last. He has to think about expanding very, very shortly, but if he does that, he's given Nightend all this chrono boost into probes, and SaSe is getting tough for him. He's going to have some sick force fields come down as he deploys 3 sentries.
There's a massive blink on top of the Immortal. Oh, he divides the Immortals out, and those Blink Stalkers are able to assassinate one of the Immortals at the back there. They can't take another, though. There's so many, and that was nice, but SaSe just took a lot of damage there to make that happen. I'm not entirely convinced by it. 4 more Stalkers moving in. We're going to see some really good Blink micro right here, and that was good. There's a Blink. He wants to take the Immortal out, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, there's an Immortal shooting from the higher ground.
So very close. There's a blink on another Immortal up to the top right here by SaSe. He's got to focus fire, but there's 2 Immortals up there. SaSe's bleeding badly. The force is destroyed. Nightend wrecks it. SaSe is out of there, and Nightend holds so well, and SaSe now is way behind.
Yeah, this is looking really, really bad for SaSe, and I don't even think he can continue in this game anymore. You know, Nightend's even walking out, killing these Zealots, and I think that's going to be GG here from SaSe very, very shortly.
I think so, honestly. There's not really a lot SaSe can do, and he knows it. He may try to expand, but then unless Nightend has fallen asleep, he's just going to go punish him for that. And there are more units being warped in here by SaSe. I think he's going to try a little bit more harassment, maybe try and catch up. If he's able to do significant damage to the economy of his opponent, he might be able to get back on there. He will expand. He refuses to give up, and can you blame him? It's single elimination, best of 3. You never give up until you're absolutely certain. He forces all of that mining time away, which is quite nice. He doesn't want to lose any more Stalkers, though. Can't afford for that to happen, but this Colossus is out on the field, and now SaSe is really in a horrible position.
Well, he's going to try and do as much harassment as he can to slow him down, but jumps into a Colossus and loses a Stalker here. But right now, the probe count 30 to 28, but the amount of chrono boost can be spent from Nightend into actually probes right now. He's not even going to do that. It looks like he's just going to go ahead and be aggressive, as he has a probe down the lower side of the map. Pylon is going to be constructed very, very shortly, as we can see. It's coming down on the third base of SaSe, and so look at the unit tab. 2 Immortals, a single Colossus, 10 Stalkers against 8 Blink Stalkers and Immortal.
It's ugly, and the Immortal's going to get killed before it really does anything. SaSe jumps on the Colossus, a nice little bounce there, down it goes, and he actually bypasses his opponent. Is he seriously going to go for a base trade here? Which that's not going to work out in his favor. No, in fact, he's actually going to come around the back, and he's picking off reinforcements as they come in, but still, he doesn't have an answer to this. So this is be some amazing play from SaSe if he's able to get off the base trade here, and that's really his only choice at this moment. Unfortunately, I think that Nightend does have the force for it. That said, SaSe has built up a significant force, comes in from an ambush from the back. Nexus is down, Nightend with a significant number of zealots there. There's the blink into the main once again. SaSe has smashed through some probes, but SaSe's now down to 18 of his own. This is not looking good for him. He blinks out there, and a significant force from Nightend. There is no way to stop that doing damage to his base right now, and this harassment has been shut down as well. SaSe is in a bad way in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, he can hold this on, but he has no more force fields after this. He's trying to get back with these force stalkers as well, but there goes the sentry. In comes the army of Nightend, and down goes SaSe. Still has force stalkers, doesn't want to give up though. As you said, best of 3. Best of 3.
Yep, Zealots warping in on top of the Immortal. However, the Immortal easily backs off, and the Zealots now going in to engage there. That's it. GG, ladies and gentlemen. The first game of this best of 3 series is going to Nightend. Once again, we see dominant PvP performance from him.
And, you know, like I just said, best of 3, that is it. Round of 16, you've gone through 2 days. You've got through 2 intense groups, and actually just going over into the groups once again while they set up this next game. If we look where SaSe's come through, if we open up day 1 over here, where is SaSe? Alright, so SaSe's come through group day 1 with Merzadel, Scott and Sortov going 3-0 into day 2, where he's had to go up against Nurtio, Select and Dabu. So he's worked so hard in this tournament so far, and this is the reason why he's not just going to give up there, because 1 game away now, and these 2 amazing days that he's provided of high-quality games that have enabled him to go into top 16 are just going to be undone. And the feeling that SaSe is going to get if he loses 2-0 right now, and it's likewise for Nightend. That's why this tournament format is so intense for these guys. I mean, it's so tough. It
is really, really hard. I can also confirm that I believe Nama has lost his first game against White Raw, and apparently there was some... Nama shot his own SCVs or something along those lines, so...
Let's have a look.
Yeah, it's a bit ugly. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh yeah, White Raw has won game 1 there, so...
Yep.
White Raw just playing so well in this tournament.
Unbelievable.
So it looks like we are going to have Dual Sight next, and then Shakira's Plateau is the last map. Because his Veto's come into play now, we're actually seeing the maps being laid out now for these best of 3, and it looks like Dual is next, then Shakira's.
Oh, yes. Well, Nightend's taking the first game, and that's really... I mean, it's great for Nightend, honestly, and,
yeah.
and I love that guy. He's played so well. Getting these PvPs he's killing off some really powerful opponents. Mana was thankfully able to win the rest of his group, otherwise he would have been out as a result of the PvP he had with Nightend before, so...
Yeah.
Nightend, dangerous PvP killer. Let's hope he doesn't go up against Saplo. I think that'll be irresistible force and a movable object. We've seen what Saplo's been doing in PvP, and he's been getting another one. He's going to be going up against Huck, but Huck does have extremely strong PvP as well. So we shall see. And SaSe is just taking his time just to get things sorted out here.
He's just making sure that the next map is Dual Sight. Obviously, he doesn't want any mistakes or whatever.
Yeah.
And Nightend's just confirmed with the admin that it is Dual Sight. So remember, after this game, after this best of 3, in literally half an hour, we're going to be going directly into Puma versus Genius. 2 Koreans, one of them going home.
Yeah.
Not today, probably tomorrow. But
yeah, if he's got any sense anyway, he's just going to chill out here for a while. Get one more breakfast.
Swedish breakfast, man.
Swedish breakfast. It's not bad.
It's good stuff.
Yep.
It's good stuff.
When do you have the time to eat it?
Yes, that too. That too. I pack my sandwich in the morning. I have Swedish meatballs as well on the side plate.
Yeah.
I ate a cup of that amazing freshly made orange juice.
Yeah, exactly. I think I juiced 6 oranges. I got a big glass and just went through all the oranges. Good. It was, yeah. juice all
and
the
even
things.
Yesterday, even though the orange juice ran out in the machine because they didn't squeeze enough oranges,
yeah.
I was like, oh, I gotta settle for the little brothers. Not as good. Apple juice. But it was still amazing. They just do juice so good here.
Yeah, it's very, very true. It's some good stuff. I was happy with it. There's nothing wrong with it. And I actually discovered a brand new thing, which I'm pretty sure the Swedes don't actually do. They just misunderstood what I asked for. We went to the kebab place. Yeah, I went to the kebab place. Thought, right, okay, kebab, awesome. Heard a lot of good things about the kebab here. Asked for kebab and fries. So they put the fries in the kebab and then rolled it in with the meat. I'm like, this is the best thing ever made. I'm pretty sure that's not default food. It's like when I said to everyone, the Finns eat reindeer pizza. It turns out they don't. They just make it for the tourists. But you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm a tourist, and it was delicious.